Hello, everyone, and welcome to South Asian Artists in Conversation with the wonderful Sanjay Lago. How are you doing today, Sanjay?
Yeah, I'm good. This is exciting. This is like my last fun bit of work before I go on a holiday, so I'm buzzing.
Cool. I'm glad it's a good one to end on before you go.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, I'm really glad we managed to have this conversation. We're gonna be talking all things on your show, Love Me Like a Chai Tea Latte, creating your own work as an artist and all things Edinburgh Fringe. So we've got a good amount of stuff to talk about, and I'm so excited to see how it went. But before we get into all of the questions, if you could just tell everyone a little bit about who you are and what you do, that'll be fab.
yeah. So my name's Sanjay Lago. I am an actor, writer, comedian, and educator. I am from Glasgow. I trained at the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland, and I went back. I'm currently doing a part-time master's in arts education because I thought during COVID I was doing a lot of teaching work and working with young people. But let's just get a qualification. And I love improv work. I've worked now for 14 and a half years in the industry now. And I've won awards in my writing and my acting. And I met you, I realized, over 5 years ago during lockdown. Yeah,
Gone
how
so
time's flown.
quick. I literally
Yeah,
every time it like gets past like March, because obviously that's when it will happen. I'm like, how has it been another year? It just feels like
yeah.
it's gone so quick. Like this whole year has gone super quick. I'm like, how has it been 5 years? Like it doesn't feel like that at all. And we met obviously, and we met in person once. Also feels like ages ago.
Yeah.
Just there, but yeah, it's
That was
cool.
like 2021, 22.
Yeah, yeah,
Wow.
that was a long
And you
time.
don't age, you look the exact
Oh,
same.
thank you. Neither do
I'm
you.
so jealous.
Thank you. Thank you. Um, cool. Well, thank you for letting everyone know who you are. You sound like an all round creative. It's so good to have so many different things about you. We're gonna jump in straight to your show, Love Me Like a Chai Tea Latte. So, if you could tell everyone about your kind of one man slash solo show, what's it about, and what was like the inspo behind it?
Yeah, so interestingly, I wrote the show as a joke
Okay.
two and
Mhm.
a half years ago for Vaults Festival, and I wrote it 25 minutes before I went on stage
No
at
way.
the Vaults. And they did really well, like they sold really well. I was really happy with it. But I never thought anything of it. And it was basically me talking about all the all the negative dates and racism I've had within the gay community. So I was just it started off with me just talking about bad dates, but then there was traction. People enjoyed it. So then after that, I did one night at the Edinburgh Fringe in 2023, and that went well. And then I did it in LA in February 2024 at the
In
Comedy Store
LA.
in Sunset
Oh,
Boulevard. Yeah, in
I think
LA.
I remember. Oh,
Um,
wow.
I went to a Doctor Who convention in LA, and I'd only been in the country less than 24 hours. I got onto the Jimmy Kimmel show, and I was standing behind
No
him,
way.
and my friend in the audience wasn't like on stage, not yet. And then the guy who did like the warm up. Have you ever been to American TV to be an audience member? It is exactly what you think it is. Clap now, cheer, boo. It was so weird. But the guy who was doing that was a comedian, and he was quite well known in the circuit. And my friend who I was with was like, go and speak to him. So I kind of went, and he was like, I'll give you 5 minutes. And when I looked at how far it was from my hotel, I was like, not worth it. But my friends were like, no, no, you're going. And they drove me there. And instead of doing 5 minutes, did 20 minutes. And again, it was picking up traction. And then last February, I made a 1 hour show and I did it at the Lighthouse Bookstore in Edinburgh. And I didn't think anything of it, but I got my first ever 5-star review, and I also got the Neurodiverse Review Emerging Talent Award from the Birds of Paradise, who are one of Scotland and the UK's longest running disability theatre companies. So then things started happening. I then applied to Soho Rising, and I got that. I did two sold out nights at Soho. And again, I didn't think anything of it. And I thought, okay, I'll apply for the Fringe. And I got the Assembly Art Award. And the Assembly Art Award, I was the first South Asian to get the award. And that really helped me be here today. So Living Like a Chai Tea Latte is all about trying to find the right person to love and how the right person should love first is yourself. You should find that love in yourself. It talks about dates. We've had to change some of the dates because some of the guys sometimes might appear in the audience. Who knows? And that's very awkward when that happens. And it fuses together original poetry. It fuses together the history of being South Asian in the UK. It
Mhm.
fuses together themes of racism, EastEnders, and also Bollywood. I translate Bollywood songs into English, which is all, I think someone asked me, "What's your favorite part of the show?" And I would say it's translating Bollywood songs into English, like doing Mahabuba Mere from the film Fizza and translating
Yeah.
that into English. Love it.
Oh, I love that.
So yeah,
It's
that is my
like
show.
Bollywood. I never
Yeah,
thought you
maybe
said
that's my next show. Who knows?
that. That that sounds like a lot in one show, but as in I think it's important to cover because they all sound like incredibly important topics. I'm really intrigued sort of going back to sort of when it first started. So you obviously kind of wrote it just before you went on. I'm assuming that was a little bit of like a smaller version than what it is now. I think you said you extended it.
Oh,
Or
it was a
oh,
1 hour, 20-minute show.
how
So when it first started, it was stand up. It was like me just telling stories and jokes. But as it went on, it felt like it was more of a theatre piece. So I brought a bit more darkness into the Fringe. It touches upon themes of racism, mental health, suicide, bullying. So what started off as like a stand-up show then went and became a theatre piece. And it's 1 hour, but we are talking about developing it and extending
okay.
it. Because yeah, there was things that we wanted to stretch out, but in Fringe, you only get mainly 1 hour slots, unless you're like one of the big rich people who get like an hour 20. But even at that, you want to keep your show to 1 hour. So
Mhm.
yeah, it started off as like a stand-up show.
Okay, yeah. So I think I lost you for a second. Okay, it started as a stand-up and it kind of did it sort of end as a mix then, sort of stand-up and theatre style, or did it become complete? Okay, that's nice.
Yeah, everybody that I've spoken to from Fringe said it's very storytelling.
Yeah, okay.
Fuses together the comedy and the acting and the drama, but it's overall arching is storytelling, which is great. I love telling stories.
Okay. That's really I think that always will resonate with an audience as well because sometimes like it's a lot more kind of raw, authentic and personal, I think if you do it in that way. Um And well, when you initially wrote it, how was that sort of just writing it before you went on? Was it a bit of panic, or was it kind of like because you already had all the ideas, it was quite easy to get it out there and
Oh no, it was definitely panic.
yeah.
I just went on. I went on stage with bullet points. There was no
Okay.
like through line. There was no like journey. It was just me going up there sharing stories. But I also
Yeah.
share with the audience how I came out to my parents. So
Okay.
that's quite a big part of the start of the show is the coming out
Yeah.
story. But when I initially did it, it was just a piece of paper with bullet points.
Yeah, yeah. I guess sort of if it's just you and it's your stories, hopefully it when you were up there it became a bit easier because it's not like there were loads of lines to remember and all of that. So hopefully that kind of lowered your
Yeah. Oh my God, yeah. But then when it became Fringe, because it became a script, I had to like hit the beats for all the text.
oh
And
yeah.
it's also, I think Fringe was harder because that was the first time my parents were seeing me perform. So when you're talking about like sexual things and your parents are in the audience, I was I was more terrified about Fringe and my parents coming than I was a reviewer. But my mum and dad were laughing. My dad came to see it 4 times. My mum was laughing at like jokes about blowjobs, and I'm like, this is so awkward that this Indian mother, Punjabi, has come to see my show, maybe doesn't know what I'm talking about, but she found it hilarious. And I do think talking about like sex and being LGBTQIA plus and South Asian communities is quite taboo. And I had that thought of like what my parents were going to think, but I was really grateful that my parents weren't your stereotypical "we're going to disown you" kind of thing because I had that thought in my head. Um, but no, I'm it's the line learning is tough. But also I'm very neurodiverse as well. So I put that into the
Mhm.
show, and I even say in the show that I will go on tangents. The stories will be like this, but they'll always be the end goal
Yeah. I think
story.
it's yeah, it's so brave when you put your personal stories into kind of turning it into art. And I think it's good you address those because I think stuff like, taboos we don't speak about enough in our culture and in the arts as well. You don't see it, you kind of see the same things. And I think it's important that those kind of things are addressed and kind of normalized within our kind of community and arts community. So that's
Oh
like
yeah.
props to you, Duru. And it's so good that it was received really well by your parents. That's like a bonus.
And it was, and what was brilliant was we had South Asians turn up to see my show. One thing I'll never forget is we had 10 women from a Gurdwara in Edinburgh come and see the show. So
Wow.
I had leaflets and a jar cafe that was like sponsoring me. And they saw the leaflet and they are called Lass and Lassie, Lassie and Lass. And it was 10 Punjabi women of all ages that came to see my show.
Hmm.
And what I find beautiful about it was whenever I talked about the Bollywood, they would laugh, and it was so nice having South Asians in the audience who would understand things before they even happen. Because I do a reenactment of a scene from Kuki Saspi Kabhi Bahuti, which was like this iconic soap that I grew up watching. But in it, there's an episode where the mother-in-law gets crushed,
Yeah,
and it was great having South Asians in the audience because they knew what was coming.
yeah.
But also, what struck me with the difference from when I first did it in the vault for the stand-up show to now doing it at the end was every show there was someone crying,
Oh,
and I
wow.
never expected people to cry, and I didn't think my work would be that impactful. But yeah, people were in tears, and I'm really happy with it. Like the
Yeah.
journey it's been on. So now we're gonna just develop that. Hopefully, make more people cry. That is the plan.
Yeah, that's good. It's really nice, I think, as an actor, I think we can all agree when a lot of the time, okay, like how the audience is going to react generally, if they're going to laugh, if they're
Yeah,
not, but it's so beautiful when you go on stage and like there's certain moments where they'll laugh or they'll cry or they'll just be like a reaction where you don't expect and it's like it shows that
yeah.
you're doing the right thing, but so it's so nice to get that reaction and that it was in every show someone cried. So that's incredible that that happened.
That's up on my list.
Yeah. You kind of touched upon it, but I guess like from the start to the end, well, like tell us a bit about the process of creating the show from writing it and then like how it got picked up by the various venues and then putting it on. I know you mentioned it, but if you could just give some more details, yeah.
Yeah, so Vaults was just an application.
Mm.
Um, and it's interesting because doing it at Fringe, this was my Fringe debut, but also my Scottish debut. I've never performed a production in Scotland, even though I've been doing it for almost 15 years.
Oh, have you not?
Um,
Okay.
it's been a journey. And I think the reason I created this piece was because visibility is a big thing for me. Like, if we don't see people like you and me on our stages and screens, and young people don't see us, then you lose a whole generation of South Asians coming into the arts.
Yeah.
So, Soho Horizon, I did an application, um, and then again, assembly was an application. I finished Soho and then I got the email 2 days later saying, "Hey, you've been shortlisted for the Assembly Art Award." Now, Assembly is one of the big four at Fringe. Everybody wants to get their shows with them, but they're really expensive. So to get their art award, I was shortlisted, went for an interview, and I was literally shaving in the bathroom when the phone call came and I missed it. And the woman was like, "Oh, sorry, we missed you, but we would like to offer you the award."
Wow.
Excuse me.
Bless you.
Um, thank you. And I didn't expect it. I think imposter syndrome was very real every time I applied to these things. So
Yeah.
like when I got the 5-star review, when I got the award, when I got Soul Rising, when I got the art award, I think when you don't see yourself and you've worked really hard to hustle, you still do have that voice in your head for, am I good enough?
Yeah.
Um, but getting those opportunities, it's just about applying and finding the right people. And on this journey since 2023, I have found people that I didn't deal with, people that I didn't click with, people that maybe didn't have the best interests. But then I found people that did care about me, people that wanted to help me grow. And I never have any bad blood with anybody. I think in this
Mhm.
industry, if you don't gel with someone, then
Yeah.
that's totally fine. You don't need to have bad blood. We're all trying to make our way, and it's just about support. So yeah, there were people along the way that we didn't gel or we didn't click. And I think being neurodiverse, I do need support. And I think that can be kind of difficult if you've never worked with someone who's neurodiverse.
Yeah. It's not talked about
One person
enough.
I am, yeah, and especially in our culture, it's not one person I will shout out though that's been brilliant is Anjali, who we both know,
Yeah,
Anjali
Anjali.
Mahaprada. Like that woman in the last 5.5 years of friendship has been a constant of support. She understands neurodiversity. And then the people that came on board for my friend run, I couldn't have done it without them all. Like those people held me, kept me going. Because there were times I was like, why am I doing this?
Yeah.
So all those places I went, I'm just grateful to people that kind of helped me along the way. And yeah, we'll see where it goes next. But what I would say is never feel like you're not good enough and always find the people that will support you and
And
read your contracts.
yeah, that's important as well if you don't know
That's something I
a
learned a
lot
lot.
about it
Read
as
your
well.
contracts.
Yeah, read it in detail because they're long. And I guess, even though it was a solo show, it was just you on stage, there's obviously still that behind the scenes collaborativeness that you need, and there's so many people behind the scenes,
Yes.
not just you. So I think there is that misconception that, oh yeah, it's just kind of you, but it's like there is a whole team behind it
Yeah.
kind of making it
And
work.
my Fringe team all came on about a month before Fringe. And they powered through. Like my producer, Valerie Andrews, was on it. Props to Assembly. Assembly really held me and really supported me to bring the best of the show. There's my partner Peter, who did all my marketing, social media, and TikTok. I'm still behind on the TikTok. Then I had my friend Sharnay, who's mental health support. My friend Neil, who helped me with tech. I had Jake, who helped me with props. And let me tell you, so my show is what the show's become is like a book launch, and I love books. I'm a massive book lover, and because of the original poetry, but Jake made these incredible prop books that even people at the end of the show were like, so where can we get your book? And I won't tell you what the twist of the show is, but I was like, oh, there's no book. Like, yeah. And then there's my friend Matt who came on board, who helped with interim directing. So all those people I am like beyond grateful for. Storytelling, PR, Miriam and Graham in Edinburgh. Even though like I wasn't on their PR books, they still gave me advice. They still helped me. So yeah, Fringe is a lot. I think Fringe you need to have thick skin and have people that will support you behind you. And I'm so grateful to all these people who saw me when my mental health wasn't great and I didn't think I could do it. And yeah, we did it. We did 25 shows. And let
Yeah.
me tell you, I was tired. But yeah, it's Fringe is a mammoth of a task. I think it's also something that you should at least do. I think you should at least do once in your life, get that experience.
Yeah, and I think it can obviously, as creators, it can get lonely sometimes. So it's also nice to have people around you, other creatives around you, supporting your work. So it's not just you by yourself. We all know how important that is. We're gonna get sort of more into the fringe itself in a bit, but just again, you mentioned it briefly, but what has because obviously you've done it in a number of kind of venues now. What has the audience or general response been like in each location? And did the response meet your expectations, exceed it? Was it how you thought? Obviously, you mentioned a little bit, but
Yeah, so when I did it at the Vaults, it was a stand-up show, and people found it hilarious. But there was some people that related with the content because it's talking about like racism in the gay community. And I
yeah.
even say this in my show, and I say this in all my shows, like I never understood why one minority would give shit to another minority when we all just want to fit in and be seen. So when I talk about like blatant racism that I've had from gay guys from the white community is real. So the vaults, it was all hilarity. People thought it was a great stand up. And then doing it in LA, I was like, people are not going to understand what I'm talking about. But oh my God, that was such an interesting experience because, again, I think pain is a universal thing.
Hmm.
Whether it's me talking about racism as a queer man or talking about like trying to find love, it was like universal, so people like really understood it. And then doing it last Fringe was, I'd say, where it all changed for me, where it became more of a play because getting the 5-star review, getting the Emerging Talent Award, it kind of shifted the narrative because people were
Hmm.
emotional, people were finding the emotion within the story.
Yeah.
And then doing it in Soho, Soho was 2 sold out nights.
Wow.
It was my wee
Okay.
West End debut, which I was buzzing about. And I think that was great because it was a mix of emotions. People were emotional, people were happy. And I think again it's because the themes are quite universal. And
Yeah.
then Fringe, you audience reviews were lovely. I had so many lovely reviews. I won a couple of awards, and I got a review where I actually met the reviewer and I told her my thoughts, and she was like, "Actually, no, I agree with that." And she was like, "But I wish I'd rewritten it." And I was like, "Well, can you? Can you like add a star?"
Yeah.
So I think audiences have been really lovely because it's also quite a unique show. When we look at queer shows, we mainly see white male shows, and then when we break that down, the diverse becomes very tokenistic. You'll have either one black actor or one Asian actor, but you never get collective experiences of what POCs go through. Um, I never see anybody like me. I don't see queer South Asians with Scottish experiences. I don't see Scottish voices, and I think that's why the show was very interesting for me to do and to hear everybody's reactions because it was a queer South Asian Scottish perspective.
And I think that's so good that you created and you brought that representation that you hadn't seen that you wanted to see. And I think sometimes I
Yeah,
always say if the industry is not going to give you the work, if the gatekeepers aren't going to do that, then we just have to
make it
create
yourself.
what we want to see. Kind of like how with the platform, I didn't see it, I created it. And it's so important that you did that. And hopefully now that's like someone will be like, oh my God, I see myself now, like how you were feeling. And hopefully it's just going to open more doors, like for yourself, but for other artists in, the same position as you.
And I did meet people. It was interesting. I met a couple of audience members who were queer South Asians who
Yeah.
openly said they felt seen with the show.
Um,
They felt like they could relate to it, which was really touching because I was like, oh wow, I'm
yeah.
just sharing stories that I've changed a wee bit because I don't want the real people turning up, even though they might. Um, but yeah, I just want to. I think for me, visibility is a big thing.
Yeah.
Again, I've worked really tirelessly to be visible, and this was the first year that I felt visible in Scottish theatre.
And I think it's so, again, as artists, it's so nice when someone's like, thank you, I see myself, because sometimes as artists, we just want to do the work because we enjoy it. But then I think
Yeah,
as marginalized communities, there's also that extra layer where we also want to tell a certain story and represent something specific. And it's so nice when people say, oh
yeah,
yeah, thank you, like I see myself, and it just shows that we're on the right tracks and we're doing the right sort of things. I bet it felt so nice for people to say that.
yeah. And like again, even just having South Asians in the audience and people of color
Mm.
was great because people of color could really relate to the universal themes of what I was talking about. Um, I just wish people at the top would see us as well and not just see us as tokenistic. And
Yeah.
hopefully that changes. Like my dream is still to perform in a Scottish theatre. Like in the 14
Let's
years of
see.
doing this, that's still the dream. I would love to just perform in a Scottish theatre. So fingers crossed one day.
Gonna happen. You put it out to the universe, it's gonna it's gonna happen. Uh,
Woohoo!
and I saw, was it's her name Michelle from EastEnders, is that her name? Or like I
Oh my
saw
God,
on
Michelle
TikTok.
Collins,
Yeah, how was
icon,
I was
icon.
like I screamed when I saw that. I was like, this is because she had a show on as well. And then yeah.
Motorhome Madeline, which I thought was stunning. Like just the set and the journey she went on and the transformation. Like, and I have to say, it was my dad who. So we were having an Indian, and we were leaving the restaurant. My dad was inside paying. And he was like, Sanj, come in here. And I was like, why? He's like, it's Cindy Peerless, Michelle. And I'm like, leave it alone, Dad. And Dad's like, give it a flyer. And I'm like, Dad, no. He's like, give it. And I was like, okay. So I thought, right, fuck it, I'll just go. And I know Balvinder, who plays Suki, and I also know Shiv Jalota, who plays Vinny.
Oh
And
yeah.
weirdly, me and Michelle Collins have like had paths like that where we've been on the same train, and I was too scared
I didn't
to
see it
say hi
before.
to her. So we've never said hi, but like we've known of her. So we just struck up a conversation, and I went to see her show, and I thought it was brilliant. And then we started chatting, and I did, if I'm honest, because like how busy Fringe is, I don't expect other artists to be able to come and see the work because it is tiring. You're having to flyer, or you're doing PR, or you're doing. Some people are doing their masters at the same time, aka me. So I don't have like I don't. who should I expect actors to come along to see my show because we're all hustling at the Fringe. So when she actually came, I was really touched. I got really emotional. That Michelle Collins, aka the iconic Cindy Beale, is in my show, and she was so lovely. We've kept in touch and we've spoken since. She was straight back into Cinder the day after Fringe. I was like, how are you doing that? Um, but she was so lovely. She gave me really good, lovely feedback, and yeah, I made a friend with Cindy Beale.
That's
You know, Michelle was so lovely, and it really just makes you feel amongst the largest of the fringe. It just made you
mhm,
feel like the sense of joy that there's support from the big names. And she is a big name. For me, she's a big name. In Britain,
mhm.
she's a big name. And the fact that she chose my show out of like 4,000 and to speak to me, it really did mean a lot. And I am so grateful to her. I just like she's an icon. Same with Balvinder, icon. So I am really grateful to her. And yeah, there's a moment in the show where I do talk about EastEnders. And I remember sitting in the show thinking, oh my God, I'm talking about Cindy Beale in front of the actress who plays her. But no, we made a lovely wee box pop thing at the end of the show, and it was lovely. She said some lovely things in it. She says I'm a great dancer, and it
Oh,
takes a lot to make her laugh. So I made her laugh, yay!
amazing.
But no, I am forever grateful to her kindness and sharing my show out there, putting on her socials like icon. I can't say anything else except icon.
And I think experiences like that, where you're all performing in the same place, it kind of like informs the idea of we're all in this together, and it kind of takes away the hierarchy we sometimes have in the industry. And it's like it was
Oh
like
yeah,
in lockdown where the industry was shut down, no one was working. It sort of informs the idea we're all in the same boat. No one's sort of
yeah.
obviously people have done more jobs than other people, but it shows we're on all in it together. And it must have been so nice to be, oh my God, like I'm performing in the same place as her, but it's like, no, actually we're on the same kind of level.
Yeah, and also what was interesting was it's like our times were so close, but like when you get a day off at the Fringe, you want to have a day off. And the fact that she made the time on her day off to come see me, I think it just goes to show like, yeah, that whole thing you say of like we're all in this together. Um, because yeah, there was a lot of shows and a lot of them on at a similar time. So if your days off clash, then you missed a lot. Um, I think that's a memory I'll always hold dearly as she came to my show.
Off the bucket list.
Yeah.
And getting kind of into the fringe now. So, like, for anyone who doesn't know what the fringe is, and also for me who doesn't know too much about it, I'm really intrigued to hear. So, what exactly is the Edinburgh Fringe? And for anyone that doesn't know, what is the process of getting your work out there? And you also mentioned some important things. So, like, if you could include stuff like accommodation, sort of the schedule, just everything that you think is
Um,
important for people to know.
so Fringe is a headache. I think you would definitely stress. No, no. So the Fringe is the world's longest and largest festival for the arts, and it's grown. There's over just under or just over sometimes 4,000 shows that range from theatre, comedy, music, dance, circus, traditional stuff. And okay, I'm going to be very honest. I think if you do the Fringe, you need to have thick skin. You
Mhm.
need to have money.
Yeah.
Like you need at least, I'd say 20 grand to do
Wow.
Fringe. I was lucky because I had the Assembly Art Award. So that award gave me two technicians, which can cost quite a lot. It gave me the flyers, the brochures, it gave me the billboards, the posters, PR support, venue costs, venue hire, all of these things. You you do need money. I would have done Fringe if I didn't get that award. I'm quite honest
Mhm.
about that because I don't come from money. I don't come with financial backing. So to do the Fringe, it's tough. Like accommodation costs are extortionate. A lot of people nowadays are staying outside of Edinburgh and commuting in. So
Yeah.
if you are wanting to do the Fringe, it's a brilliant experience. Don't get me wrong, like some people do like a week, some people do 5 shows, but you need to you need to be ready to know that you're not going to leave making money unless you're like one of the big names. It's very rare people leave making money. I don't think I'll make much at all. I think I might make a couple of hundred, maybe like £1,000 maybe. And that's what doing 25 shows. Because all the things then get taken out of your box office, VAT, all of that. So it's it's a minefield. I think if you do want to go into Fringe, secure funding, raise money. I did a GoFundMe um, for me and my team, and that's how we all got paid for our bits of work was through a GoFundMe. So find ways to like fundraise, raise money. Find a team that supports you, is there for the right reasons, and wants to take your show forward. And people that you want to work with, people that you trust and feel their work aligns with you. Like
Mm.
go in with people that you can have a good time with. And I'm really grateful that all the people that I've worked with and all the parts of it are people that I really have loved having the journey with. And there's been ups and downs, but that's every journey. But the fringe is a lot,
Hmm.
is a lot. But like I said, it's a once in a lifetime. Go try something out, but
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
prepared to lose money.
Gosh, yeah, I think there's probably maybe a misconception, maybe for people who don't know about it, because it probably works completely differently to say if you were doing a show that was put on by a theatre company. Because obviously, with that, a lot of the
Yeah,
time they'll sort out the accommodation, the pay, and
yeah,
everything. Whereas I'm assuming, if I'm correct, the Fringe, it's kind of all you, so you have to figure out your own
yeah,
marketing,
yeah.
um,
PR,
accommodation,
all of that
payment,
accommodation.
everything. It's kind
If
of all.
I ever did Fringe again, I would do it, like you said, with a theatre company. Because then with a theatre company, they usually tend to pay their artists like a weekly wage. You don't
Okay.
worry about the box office, what's coming in.
Oh,
Um,
okay. Right.
so if you've partnered with a big company, you're fine. But see if you're doing a solo show, say I did this show but without the art award, it would not have been easy at all. And I would have been in minus amounts.
Yeah. Which people probably don't realize, I think, that you.
Because the fringe isn't what the fringe is. What the fringe used to be, what she used to have the international festival, which was for like all the rich people. And then the fringe was all the not so rich artists saying, hey, we can't afford this, but we want to put on a show. But now, this year, some of the tickets were like £25. Back years ago when I did the fringe, they were like £8, £9. So ever since COVID happened, it's much more expensive, like
Yeah.
much more expensive. But it is an experience. And I would say look at other ways and how you can get involved. That's what I would say.
Yeah. And is it sort of all, is it profit share or is it box office or
Oh, it's a
does it
mix.
depend
So,
on? Okay, right.
so I'm on a box office split, so I won't get 100% of the box office. Some people
Yeah.
do guarantees, some people do profit share, some
Okay.
people do the free fringe, which is money in a bucket, and everything at the end of the bucket you get. But
Yeah.
even that still costs money. Like, yeah, but also I feel bad for Edinburgh in a way because there's so much going on. You've got the international festival, the Fringe festival, the Free festival, the book festival, the TV festival, the film festival, the tattoo. You've got 7 festivals in one city in 1 month. It's insane.
Wow.
Like, there's people in Edinburgh that don't come to the city centre when Fringe
Yeah.
is on.
Oh God, I can imagine it being like a worse than
Like,
London vibe. Like,
I remember years ago when I worked for Fringe box office, I had to walk up the mile to get to work, and it was the same year Renaissance came out from Beyonce,
yeah.
and I would put in my headphones, and in my head, in my ears, I'd be listening to "Move Out of the Way," "I'm with my girls, and we all need space." So I'd be listening in my head, but my face would look the total opposite.
Literally.
And my friend was like, "You were," and I remember sitting at work. My friend went, "Sanjay, you okay?" I was like, "Yeah, why?" She's like, "You were bulldozing through people this morning, looking really pissed off." I was like, "Oh no, that's just me listening to Beyonce move out the way, and I'm just
Channeling
trying to
in a
get to work."
Beyonce.
So I was like channeling, move out the way. Because people don't move. People were stopping and they do this. They stop to take photos of like lampposts. And I'm like,
This is not
now,
the
I know for us, maybe that's a
time.
normal thing, but in other places it might not be. But I was like, come on, I
No.
need to go to work. So, but don't get me wrong, like Fringe is a great experience, but you need to have tough skin. You need to be
Yeah.
ready to, you need to be ready to not sleep.
Oh gosh.
Um, But I also, on the flip side though, I have had a great time. I've met some incredible people. I have made incredible friends, and just a shout out to Shamita Russell and Shin and Katie Pritchard, who were the artists before and after me. And I think that's the other thing that made me have a great friend was the artists who showed on before me and the artists who was on after me were such queens. They were such nice people that being surrounded by that kindness made you want to go in, made you want to get ready to do it. So yeah, I'll always be grateful to that. Oh, but the hiccups.
But no, thank you for sharing that. I think that's important for people who I guess want to apply to the fringe who don't really know how it works in terms of I think it's important what you said about the different kind of fundings and payment that there's different routes you can go down and in terms of just how it all works, I think it's important for people to know before they be like, oh yeah, it's easy, I'll apply. And then it's like, oh no, you're kind of there's so much you have to just do on your
Yeah.
own. But it's good, like you said, it is a one-time experience. So if you have the means and everything, obviously, then go for it. And
Another thing I would say is like the journey that I had with my piece as I did so many works in progress, Vault, Lighthouse, and then the Lighthouse again, and then Soho. So these opportunities gave me space to grow and learn, and that's how I feel like that put me in good stead with Assembly. So if you have a show, take it in journeys. Look at smaller fringes. Like if you can like go to like Brighton Fringe or like I'm chatting Camden Fringe, for
I was going to
example.
say Camden,
All
yeah.
these little fringes, get your shows seen. Then build up a resume of like venues you've been to, works in progresses, reviews. Like reviews are great. Like that 5-star review last year really amplified the work, and I'm so grateful to them.
That's yeah, I think that's it's a good starting point and then just sort of jumping to the biggest fringe. I think that's good to, start off small and then hopefully it will get noticed and picked up a little bit.
And see if
Um,
it's for you as well. Because it
so
might not even be for you. You might be like, okay,
yeah,
like it might not even be for you. Might do the Camden Fringe 2 weeks and be like, nah, I can't do this for 4 weeks because it is sustaining that energy for 4 weeks is a lot. Like I do Bhangra on my show, like I full on dance on my show and doing that every day. Like there's some days you won't want to do it. So yeah, those small ones really then help you decide, do I want to do this full time?
yeah, it kind of is a tester, isn't it? Yeah. And whilst you're at the fringe, then did you manage to get time to watch other shows and that sort of thing, or was it because obviously yours was a month, so it was quite like a heavy schedule, I assume.
Yeah, it was tough. I only saw maybe about 11 shows, whereas in the past I've done like 40 in a month.
Wow.
Um,
One a day.
so, and I think it was also because as much as you want to see shows, you also just want to relax. You
Yeah.
want to like I remember going to see a show with my partner and two friends after my show, and it was such like an upbeat show. I was like, yeah, woo, and I'm like, yeah, woo. But it's not because I
Mm.
didn't want to be there. It's just because my body was like, oh, I
Takes
want to
over.
be sleeping right now. And it really does take your energy. But also for me, I had a great friend because I was doing a lot of work and seeing POCs, meeting other people of colour. And shout out to Niall Marjani, who it's a brilliant show. Ganport 1857 was another one that we did in Lighthouse. Then it was at Soho, and then it was also the Pleasance winner. So like, I wanted to support my fellow South Asians because there's not many of us. Out of 4,000 shows, less than 300 were by artists of colour, or 400, less than 400, 300, but
Mhm.
way less than 1,000 were by artists of colour. So then within that, it was like, how many are South Asian? So I wanted to see as many South Asians as I could. So like seeing Karen's piece, Does Anyone Smell Curry? Fabulous. Rima's show, which was I now pronounce you Lost and Found, another brilliant show. So yeah, I was repping my fellow South Asians as much as I could.
Yeah, that's good because we need that because there's not enough
We
support
do.
for us.
And there's not many of us at the fringe.
Yeah, and I think also sometimes I was having this discussion recently, and it's kind of like sometimes people think it's like South Asian shows are just for South Asians, and it's like no,
Mhm.
like anyone can come and see it. And I think sometimes that that's what stops people. And it's like you said, the themes are universal. So I think like
Yeah,
people shouldn't be put off just because it's like, oh no, I won't know about that. It's like no, come and see, and you realize you'll relate to it even if you're not the same skin color.
yeah.
Um, And like, what advice would you give to someone wanting to create their own work?
So I've been creating my own work now for over 10 years. And it's not easy. I won't lie about that. And I trained as an actor, and this was an interesting thing about Fringe was I trained as an actor, but I had people come up and say to me, "Oh, we didn't know you were an actor. We thought you were just a writer." And I always said and thought the same thing. Well, I only became a writer because I wasn't getting the acting parts, or people have this idea of what a male should look like. And I've not got a six pack. I'm not straight. I can act straight, but all these stereotypes are put on men on how they should look, just like women in society. We're all told how we should look. The media kind of puts this image of what we should look like, and I don't fit those in the industry.
Yeah,
Um, and I started making solo work because I didn't see me represented. So this Fringe gave me that fire to create again. But this is the first solo piece I've gone into production. So what I would say advice is know what you want to create about, know what your piece is about, and find the people who will support you. As they say, find your tribe, find the people that will support your work. I'm grateful that I find people like left, right, and center who I can like work with. Um, Look and see what's already out there so you're not copying.
yeah,
How can you be unique? How can your solo work be unique?
yeah. It's
And
really important.
yeah, collaboration's a big thing for me. Like I love collaborative practices. Like that's why my shows have poetry, dancing, singing, Bollywood, EastEnders, Doctor Who. And I'd say another piece of advice is when it comes to solo work, it's really hard because everybody's unique. And that's what I'd say is find your uniqueness. Like
Yeah.
what makes you unique in the market. And also don't be afraid to ask questions and don't be afraid to make something controversial. Because my piece does have moments of controversy.
We need it. We
Where,
need it to break the
oh yeah,
barriers.
like there's a part of my show where I take Britney Spears' womanizer and I change it to colonizer and I throw tea bags at white audience members and go, colonizer, colonizer, oh, you're a colonizer, whitey. And you did get people go, oh, then you got other people who loved it. So don't be scared to have those close to the bone moments. Be, if it's your story and it's something you're passionate about, go create it. But
Mm.
find the people that will support you along the way. And just know that you're never alone. There's always people out there who will support you and be there for you.
And had you written much of your own work before? I know you said this was the first published, but prior to this, had you had much experience with writing your own stuff or?
Yeah, and I've done quite a lot, but this is the first one that's gone into production that had lights, sound, and everything. But a lot of them always get to like work in progress stages. So one of my other ones that did really well was a piece called "Floating Along Silently," which is an autobiographical solo piece about male suicide and the loss of me and my loss of my friends and my journey with suicide. And that won an award when National Beat to Scotland, went on its own journey. So yeah, I enjoy solo work. I think also solo work is interesting when it comes to someone said this to finances because
Mm.
you're you'll make more as a solo artist at the fringe. Whereas if there's like a team of like 20 of you, you'll get what maybe 100 quid each. But I think also with solo work, I enjoy it because I love stories. I
Yeah.
love storytelling. I love poetry. Um, so being here today and having done the fringe it's given me that fire again to perform. And also to say to all those people that kind of put me down that hat, see I can do it. I don't need your support.
And you have done
Because
it.
yeah, I've done and it's been I won't lie, like I have cried a lot in this whole process, not just with the friends, but like as an artist, like it does get tough, but yeah, I feel like I find my strength again with Fringe, especially in this industry.
That's great.
I
And
also won my first acting award as well.
and it was at
I was
the
buzzing
Fringe.
at the
Or
Fringe.
oh,
So
well
I
done.
didn't know that the Asians had the Asian Art Awards, and I got highly commended Best Male Performer at the Fringe. Which
Done.
the reason I do what I do isn't like just for me. It's for my parents. My mom and dad years ago were like, "Oh, do you really want to go into this as a career?" And I'm now seeing them like taking selfies at my poster at the Fringe, flying for me. It really gives me that, it shows me that this is why I come into it. That's what made my parents proud. I showed them that this is a career that is one that I love and one that I can make work for me. So that award wasn't just for me, it was for my parents and also to my teachers that have supported me to be here today.
Yeah, and also for people who are unsure whether to enter this industry because it's like, is there enough roles for me? And I think a lot of parents, I think that is a big reason because it's like you don't see us represented enough. It's like how is their work? And I think you kind of proved your parent to your parents by being like, I'm going to create again what you want to see, and they're like, oh yeah, there is a market for this.
Yeah.
Um, I'm going kind of back to what you said. I think also with creating your own work, I think like because it's your personal stories and everything, sometimes you just can't go wrong in that sense because it's like obviously things can be improved, but I think like when you're telling your own stories, you can't really go wrong if that makes sense. Um,
No, totally.
so I think
One advice I would give though, if you are making solo work, and this was a piece of advice given to me by a friend, Rosie, who's also a dramaturg, that if you are making solo work and it's autobiographical and it's quite dark topics, it's usually good to separate yourself. And that's what I've done with this show is because
yeah,
it is a bit darker. So I've separated Sanjay, the real person, to Sanjay, the character.
that's a good
And I
idea.
think that's one piece of advice I'd give is when you look after yourself, to look after yourself and your own mental health. If you're really making work about really deep topics, see how you can detach yourself a bit and maybe like fictionalize a wee bit. And that's something I find very helpful.
Yeah, because I think sometimes the danger is sometimes we don't realize as actors is sometimes those roles can stay with us. So especially if it's so autobiographical, you want to make sure there's that separation, especially if you're constantly doing
Yeah,
it day after day. So that's a really good
yeah.
point to make. And in terms of representation and things you wanted to represent in particular, why is it important that shows like Love Me Like a Chai Tea Latte and all the other shows you saw about representation at the Fringe, why do you think it's important that they're put on?
I think it's important for a couple of reasons. One, to give Britain and British theatre and Western theatre different narratives that we're
Mhm.
not secondary characters, we're not background, we're not all about just partition. Like that was one part of our South Asian history, but there's so many other stories out there. So I think it's about representation on a larger scale that there's more to us than what history books say. And also like modern stories as well. You want to bring the past and the future together. In the present, so it's about visibility on the other areas of our culture. So I think that's why it's important because we have such a rich culture and we don't see it. Like an idea I have is putting a 2 week wedding into a 1 hour into a 2 hour show. Like all those rituals that we do at Indian weddings, like a
Yeah.
jago, putting a jago on stage, getting audience members to come on stage and do a jago. Like I'm very intrigued by like all the other interesting parts of our culture that we just don't see. I think the other reason it's important is also just for future generations to see that again, this is a space for them. Like they can come in this industry. And it's also about breaking those stereotypical barriers that are always put on us.
Yeah. And I think I'm taking a line from a play I'm doing at the moment, all about migration, but it's kind of the art has the power to educate and inform through storytelling. And it's like people don't realize that it's so important to see us represented because it is a
Yeah,
means of educating people. And honestly, if every racist came to watch theatre, I feel like their minds would be changed because it's like
it'd
you're
be brilliant.
seeing,
Oh my God, yeah.
yeah, you're seeing all
But
these,
they will still find a way to
yeah, not
twist
every,
it
but maybe
badly.
the ones that can still be swayed. I'm like, if you came to watch it, you'll be like,
Yeah,
oh yeah, now I
I'm with you on
understand
that.
this.
Yeah,
Yeah. And I think yeah, we don't realize it enough that theatre's such a good way to tell these stories. So hopefully more of it. Um, God, time's gone so quick, and time always flies by. Like in these chats, I feel like we could like speak for hours. I've got one final question before I go on to the sort of fun fire round questions. But just to end on, I'm really intrigued to hear your thoughts on this. So, what would you say some of the benefits and challenges were of performing solo and some differences compared to performing with others? Sorry, quite a big question.
It's like, yeah, oh, so I'd say some of the benefits are it's you have you're the one person, so all the responsibilities on your shoulders. That
Mhm.
sounds really bad. It's a benefit because like you've got the dialogue, you're the one being directed, and if it's solo work that you've created, it's your story, so you know it. Whereas if it's with a group and it's your story, it's about respect and everybody respecting it. There's a couple of
Yeah,
artists I don't speak to, I haven't worked with again because there was a lack of respect from the story I was telling, and I was like, no. So it's about, I think respect plays a big thing when it's solo work. So when you're working with different people, because you want everybody to be on the same page, whereas they're just sure you're on the same page.
yeah.
Um,
And I guess
Other
you've got
benefits.
sorry, no, just going off
Yeah,
that,
you
I
go.
guess it's the you've got complete control over what you're telling as
Yeah,
well.
you've
Like
got
obviously,
ownership of the story.
yeah. Whereas obviously like you
Yeah,
have to
it's
take into account other people's opinions on that, whereas it's like you've got full control.
yeah. I think another thing I would say a benefit is in a solo piece of work. This is really big. It's a question. Oh, another benefit is if you're at the Fringe, for example, I think this is actually a bit negative. But if you're at the Fringe and you're a solo artist, you're doing all the flying, and that there's a team of you. This is a team of you flying. So, but I think there's so many benefits. I think the main benefit that, or the main thing to do is just enjoy what you do. Solo work, group work. I think for me, as I'm getting older, I'm just like enjoy every moment and
Mm,
just enjoy the moments because you don't know what's around the corner.
yeah,
So yeah, take it in your stride. And kindness goes a long way. I get really tired of people that are just unkind in this industry, or people that are like snobs or like privileged and put other people down. Just kindness goes a long way. Just be kind and also open your doors to other people. Don't just hire your pals all the time.
yeah,
Give chances to other people. How are people meant to grow if they're never given a chance or an opportunity? So yeah, I'd say those are all my things to just artists in general
yeah.
is kindness, give opportunities and give space and enjoy every moment of it. And also challenge yourself. See people that say I'm just an actor. I'm like, good, but are you getting work every day? Because not every actor is getting work every day. I
Yeah.
always say to my students when I'm teaching it, diversify. So if you're just an actor, go and do some writing, get some new skills. You are never too old to stop learning. That's why
Yeah.
I'm going to I'm getting some dance lessons now, doing some singing lessons, because this industry is always changing. And the reason I became a writer was because actor writers were such a big thing. But also, if you want to see yourself represented, make those stories. We're all stories. I say that
Mm,
in my show, we're all stories. Let's bring those stories to the front. So I say to all my students, like, diversify. Don't just say you're one thing. Go work in a school, work in a prison. Like, open up your basket and collect more eggs.
yeah, don't just keep it in the same. Like, yeah, no, I understand that because I know some people just want to act and that's the window, which is fair enough. But I guess if you
It's fine.
feel like, oh yeah, there's more you want to do or more you can do, which also I wish we were kind of told about, or there was more exposure to stuff that you can do in between, like the medical role plays and just jobs you can have in between, which I feel like people don't know enough about. Then it's like by all means you should do that because just it's a lot healthier to have, even if it's still creative, to have stuff away from acting because it can be a lot if
And
it's
don't
like,
be snobby.
yeah, yeah, be humble like always in
Like,
this, we're all
yeah.
in it together.
I never understand people that are very snobby, like, oh, medical role play. And I'm like, still a job.
Yeah, good pay. And so many people do it. Like even people who are like big, I hate using that word, but you know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
that's what they do. People have real jobs in between the real jobs. So yeah, we all
Yeah.
gotta make ends meet.
We're all
Especially
got a hustle.
yeah, especially when the pay isn't always the best, but that's a whole a whole other can of worms. Yeah, I can't believe how quick time has gone. We're going to move into 5 round questions, but thank you for sharing everything. We managed to cover
Oh, not
quite
at
a lot
all.
actually. We managed to
Yeah.
which is good. Thank you for sharing everything and being so personal about everything. It's I think it's important because it will resonate with a lot of people. I'm also gutted I've not managed to catch your show, so please put it on and come to
There will be a
Leicester.
recording of it.
Okay.
So I'll either have a recording, and we don't know what's happening yet, but hopefully we will
Yeah.
take it somewhere.
Yeah, because I think I wanted to catch it in Soho, but every time I come to London, like it's always before or after the show that I'm there. So I'm
Yeah,
hoping,
we keep missing each other.
yeah, literally, come to Leicester, like come to the curb. Um, yeah, I'm hoping I'll get to catch your show in the future. But yeah, thank you. It's been a really insightful conversation. We're gonna now move into just some random fun, quick fire round questions. Um,
Lovely.
okay, first one. I think you've mentioned it in this. What is your absolute dream acting role?
Oh, my dream acting role would be to be either in Doctor Who or EastEnders.
Nice, nice.
I would
What?
love to do
Yeah,
some more TV work, but I think I would love to be a companion, in Doctor Who, and I think I would love to be some like gay villain in
I could
EastEnders,
so see that. I could see it.
like a wee sassy villain, like don't man,
Yeah, EastEnders if you're
like
listening.
oh yeah, I could be like Suki's evil gay
I was
nephew,
literally gonna say,
or I could be like Sanjay and Geeta. I could be their son, and then Geeta can come back because Geeta came, Shobha Kapoor came to my show in Soho. So hey,
yeah,
hi.
I can see that. People cast him now. Cast him. Okay. Really random question. What is your favorite season?
Oh, I like spring because I'm a spring baby, but I think I'm gonna say autumn
Really?
because it's still a bit warm, still a bit cold. Those crisp mornings are starting.
Yeah.
Halloween, you can watch all your movies like Halloween Town, Hocus Pocus. Like,
Pumpkin spice lattes.
yeah. Do you know I've never had one before?
You know, they're okay. I feel like it's a bit overrated, but it's not my fave. But try it.
Do you know I'm thinking I might do one this year. I'll
Do
give you
it.
my
Yeah.
review once I do.
Cool. Let me
I had my
know.
first boba tea last year.
Did
I'd never
you? Oh
had
my God,
boba
no
before until
way.
last year.
You never
Yeah,
had
last
both
May.
before.
The amazing director Ashen Gupta was up working with me in Glasgow, and yeah, they were like, "Yeah, let's have one." I was like, "All right, yeah, cool."
Did you like it?
Yeah, it was nice. Yeah,
Yeah. Oh no, I'm like
yeah.
obsessed. What I was a bit obsessed. What I used to do after every time I had an audition in person, I'd always treat myself to
The
boba.
boba tea.
Yeah,
Love
spend all my
that.
money on
So we
it.
tradition.
Literally, yeah. Okay, what is your favorite color?
Orange. I love
Nice.
orange. Anything orange, please.
Yeah. Okay, if you could teleport anywhere right now, where would you go? I know you're going on holiday tomorrow, so you can't say that, but pretend you're not going on holiday.
I would love to go to New York again.
Mm.
I would go New York via Japan.
Be in Japan.
Yeah,
So you'd stop over, spend a few days there.
yeah, yeah,
Cool. Nice.
yeah.
Oh, I'd love to
But
go.
I'd take an but how I would do it though is I would teleport to Japan with an empty suitcase, drop off home, then teleport to New York with another suitcase.
That's smart. That's a smart idea.
Yeah.
Love to go back to
I've
New
been
York.
told if I go to Japan, I need to pack light
Okay, cool. Because there's
because
so much.
apparently the shopping there is amazing. So I was
Wow.
like, okay, I'll do
Yeah,
that.
do that. Okay, and one to end on that I'd like to ask everyone at the end of these chats is what advice would you give to your younger self?
Know that you're not alone. Keep smiling and feel that you can be yourself without folk bringing you down because joy will be around the corner and knowing that someone will always hold you up, even in the moments that you don't want to be here anymore.
Oh, that's such a sweet thing to end on. Thank you for sharing that. And again, thank you. I'm so glad we managed to get the time to
Oh,
organize it.
thank
It's been
you.
a long time coming. It's been a pleasure to have you on. I will be announcing more guests to come on, so everyone stay tuned and I'll let everyone know when this chat will be posted. But yeah, thank you so much for joining me, Sanjay.
Thank you. And
Take it.
Aarti, can I just say you are an icon? And I'm just going to
Oh,
say this openly that thanks to you, I met so many friends during lockdown, people that I'm still friends today. So I just want to shout out to you. and to Angela used to have been such powerhouses for people like me in Scotland finding other amazing artists from South Asian background. So I just want to say thank you so much to you and thanks for giving me space to talk. So
No,
stay
thank you.
iconic.
I appreciate that. And I think it's like I always say, like, I wouldn't have been able to, as cheesy as it sounds, I wouldn't have been able to do this platform if people hadn't got involved. And you were one of like the first one to like get involved. So like I'm so glad we connected through lockdown. And it's like, yeah, I need you guys to help with this. And Anjali also big shout out. She's like she helped a lot in this. So big up to you, Anjali. Cool. Well,
But
thank
yeah,
you so
you are fab and continue doing
much.
your amazing work. And yeah,
Thank you
speak
so
to you
much.
soon.
Take care. Bye.